Alan Ing. I'm Zorianna Kit, and today we review Swan Song, starring Udo Kier. This is an interesting movie. This is Udo as you've never seen him before, as kind of an aging drag queen, who's, it's one of these stories of growing old, getting to that point in your life where you have to reflect and kind of confront the things you've done in the past, and that's definitely this movie. What did you think of Swan Song?
I love the conceit of this movie. It's kind of it's in a way it's like a weird road trip movie, but it's a road trip taken by one man who is walking, not driving. So it's a road trip that's like a walking road trip, and the entire movie it's to reach a particular destination, but it's it's the journey, not the destination in the end. Although the destination is quite fabulous when he does get there. But the journey is essentially him revisiting his past, going down memory lane, running into people he knew, running into people in his mind that he knew that may or may not be real, and then running into new people who are working or living in spaces that he used to work and live in, and who have no clue who he is. And it's just navigating that as he gets to his destination. And it's at once beautiful and funny and melancholic. There's a lot of, it's really bittersweet, but quite beautiful to watch.
Yeah. It's, for one thing, I've been going down Udo's IMDb page, looking at the movies I've seen him in. He always takes these small bit parts. On occasion, he'll have a nice meaty role, but he's the star of this movie. He's in practically, I think he is in every scene, and he has a lot of substance to his character. The aging drag queen he was a hairdresser. He has a client who just passed away. And for $20,000 in her will, he does her hair and he'll get that money. And so it's just I just found everything fascinating, because everything I know about Udo is just kind of thrown out the window here. And he puts on this amazing yet kind of understated and subtle performance as a gay man and as a former drag queen as well, and kind of reliving that. And I think that, to me, that's the charm of this movie. And I think that's what we have, because the story has been told before, but I was skeptical about how he'd pull it off. And I think for me, he really pulled it off at the end.
I really think there is no movie without Udo Kier. Like you said, he's always been a supporting actor in other people's movies, and usually he plays the villain. I mean, he's between, like, with those blue eyes and that very the German angular features. Yeah. He has mostly played a villain.
He's either killing someone or having someone kill for him.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he's played Hitler a few times. He's played, like, I wrote it down. What he wrote, he's played Jack the Ripper. He's played Dracula. He's played Jekyll. So, I mean, this gives you an idea of kind of like there's kind of like a creep factor to this very good-looking guy with startling blue eyes. So here, all of a sudden, it's all Udo all the time, and gone are those characters that we already are predisposed to thinking he's going to play. And instead, you see this fragile man who is bitchy at the same time, and is longing for recognition, hurting because he has experienced lots of a loss in his life. And his character came of age during a time of AIDS, where he got shunned in one community but was revered in another. And you really kind of do see all of that in him as he plays this role, and it's stunning. It's fabulous.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that it doesn't go the route of he stops off at each location, meets someone from his past, and they reconcile and everything's all happy. I think
Yeah.
he's more or less confronted with the past,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know, and I think he still has that stubbornness that says, well, I was right all along. And you know, like his antagonist is his antagonist is Jennifer Coolidge, who plays Dee Dee, and they have a they butt heads, and I like the fact that it never really resolves, even though it kind of loops around at the end. And to me, the reason I like that is it feels more real and it feels less fairy tale-ish, and I think it just adds flavor to what ultimately is the ending of the movie.
Well, she is in, I think, 2 scenes in this movie, but she steals the scenes that she's in. And even though we all know her as Jennifer Coolidge plays a particular type of character in every movie, and here there is that element of that character, except this isn't a comedic role and it's not played for camp. And the barbs that the two exchange are very powerful. I mean, you're watching 2 stubborn, high maintenance people really go at it. And after that scene is over, you almost want to get up and clap and just go, wow, I just witnessed like a master class in zingers, because they both give it to each other.
And it's deep. It digs deep. And you know, they have a kind of a mentor-mentee relationship, but also, you know, when you listen to what they say, you know, he's not 100% correct. Or you know, I you know, when she complains about what happened to her and what ended their relationship, it's like, yeah, I kind of understand that. I kind of understand why her character did what she did. And and you know, again, that's, you know, I like the realism in that. You know, is that we, you know, not only have we not lived a perfect life to the end, but you know, not our entire life is not going to wrap itself up in a nice tidy bow either.
Well, also what I felt, first of all, this movie felt very real to me in the sense, I mean, listen, there's a lot of fantastical elements here. There's a lot of things that happen in his mind. There are fantasy sequences here, but what feels so real is that this character, he feels so real because one of the things, he captures the humanity of things that we all have, and one of them is our the human's very stupid talent of being able to hold grudges that span decades.
Yeah, you know, just for me, poor Linda Evans. She has one dramatic scene, and then for the rest of the movie, she's laying in a casket. That's her, and she's in that casket for a very long time. But hey, she did it. I appreciate the fact that she did that.
I wanted to talk about the directing for a minute. The movie's weakness, it is very low budget, and if they did not have Udo Kier, this fantastic actor who for the first time in his life is given full screen time, which is amazing that he's never had that before, and now at his 70-something age he's getting it. But the directing is, or I found to be, very weak. It was interesting that this filmmaker did base this character on someone from his hometown. And they shot in his hometown, and they shot it in chronological order. And all those little quirks and charms I really like. I really like that. But the directing level is just really not quite up there. I found some of the edits to be very poor. Costume items seem to come and go. Like there's a pink hat he wears. There's a fedora. There's a chandelier. There's a lot of hat situations. But in one scene, some of these items of clothing or accessories that he's holding, they kind of appear or reappear without any continuity. You could probably do a whole continuity edit on this film just as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a little bit of that. I don't think I was too hung up on it. I was just kind of enjoying the story and the performances at this point. I would say if there was a negative on my part, it's probably the first half of the movie, that it does run a little slow. He is walking across. This is in Sandusky, Ohio, by the way. He is walking a lot, and every stop, it feels like much longer than the story takes place, and so yeah, maybe pick it up a little bit, but I'm not an editor and I'm not a filmmaker either, so I'm just going off what I'm feeling. If you give me a good story and a good performance, then there's a lot I'm going to be able to forgive. And so it sounds like you had you enjoyed the performances. I think the story touched you, but it had flaws. So I'll say you gave it a 7.
No, I gave it an 8. This movie to me is a recommend because I think everyone should see Udo Kier, who quite possibly could be in the prime of his life as an actor. It's sort of like when we watched Anthony Hopkins playing the father at 80 years old, just marveling at how amazing this man is, although he's had lead roles for decades. But I think, to me, this is kind of like Udo Kier at, I think he's 77 maybe. I'm marveling at this performance, just going, oh my goodness. I mean, please watch him, see him, and hopefully be inspired to, have him do more of this stuff. The performance is reason enough alone to go see this movie. So it's an 8 for me.
Yeah.
I think you also enjoyed it. Maybe not as much as I did, but also you didn't seem to have it as, I don't feel like you had as much of a connection to this film as I did, other than that you found it enjoyable, and the little flaws that it had, they were so minor for you. You went along for the ride, but I think you gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7.5. It was good, and it does a lot of things that I appreciate about independent storytelling, and that's the resistance to go in an expected direction. To tell a story of an aging drag queen. There's certain things that you think are gonna happen. And part of me was like, well, is this Udo Kier doing Robin Williams from The Birdcage?
Yes.
And it's not. It's very not. It's very grounded. Yeah. It's very he plays his age in this movie.
Yes.
And he acts his age, and with all the the strains and aches and pains that happens. And so I definitely appreciate the fact that they did not try to go cinematic. They did not try to go over the top, and I think told a very authentic story. All right, so so go out and see Swan Song. It's in theaters now, and let us know what you thought. Like, subscribe, comment below, and with that, let's get out of here.